Gauteng Education MEC Matome Chiloane is this morning expected to visit Geluksdal Secondary School, that's in Brakpan. It's after a grade 10 pupil was stabbed to death yesterday. He was wounded after a scuffle between two groups during school hours. Newzroom Afrika's Tumaole Mohlaoli is part of our team watching the story. He joins us now live from just outside the school. And Tommy, there was a bit of activity moments before we crossed to you. What's taking place there now?
Well, what's taking place now, Ayanda, is that there are groups of learners. As you said, there was activity earlier where these learners came to the gate of Geluksdal High School here. And they were basically just chanting and singing. And they're not in classrooms where they're supposed to be. But this is in response to the killing of that grade 10 learner. But let's get more details on what is actually happening from Mr. Steve Mabona, spokesperson of the Education Department. Mr. Mabona, firstly, the learners that we see gathering here outside the school, they're not in classrooms. What do you know? What is happening?
No, it's quite sad what is happening here. There's a student organization that is linked to PAC, which started this morning to go to different schools, disrupting, learning today. So they came here to disrupt, and I think they succeeded because some of the learners then, went with them. They are saying they're going to other schools to make sure that there's no schooling in the area today. Which that's not the way of doing things. We understand that there's a loss of life, which we condemn in the strongest possible terms. But we understand that this incident started here, where some learners misbehaved. They started, spraying other learners with the pepper spray, which then later they were stopped by the other learners who felt that what they are doing is untoward. After they being stopped, later then in the afternoon after school yesterday, they then came and wanted to stop all other children that were actually barring them from doing what they were doing earlier. And that's where this thing started, and which led to one learner succumbing to the injuries. And well, unfortunately for them, then we understand that there's someone who's in the 30s who was then who allegedly gave the knife to the one that who stabbed the victim. He was then assaulted allegedly by the learners to a certain extent that he had to be taken to hospital. So he's still in hospital. So the MEC is coming here just to quell this situation. He intended to interact with the learners as well. So now we have a challenge now, which learner we're going to be interacting with. If probably we are fortunate enough, we will be having some learners to address in the school, but also to convey his condolences. We're going to go to the family of the bereft, just to go there personally, interact with them, share them the pain that we have. And we also lost, loss of life. It's not something that we really need to rejoice.
As the Gauteng Education Department, this seems to be quite a challenge, particularly in this area. We know that last year also, not far from here, in Tsakane, a learner was also killed in a violent incident. There was allegations of brandishing of a firearm, fake or not. But it seems that there's a real problem with the discipline or inter-school rivalries that are running riot and politicizing of youngsters and the school unable to get a hold in a grip in terms of discipline. Where's the disjuncture here, Steve? Is it the school's responsibility to maintain the discipline, or is it the parents also to play a role?
No, parents must play a significant role in instilling discipline in our children. We can't be sitting back. We need to work together with the school, with the parent body, everyone. But in this area, there's an element of discrimination, if we were to call it that way, that we pick up from these learners who are saying they are now fighting for their rights, because you do have a sense that they are alleging that they are being mistreated in this area. You'll understand that this is the previously colored area, you know, from the Group Areas Act, and predominantly it's colored people that stays here. So there's that element of saying those that are of an African descent, they are being ill-treated. That's what they allege, which really need to be tested, working with the community, working with the school, and making sure that we don't discriminate against anyone. So that's what we really need to work with the parents on as a department. But the Tsakani area, in its entirety, we have a problem of ill discipline, whereby in the event of anything that happens, this group that is aligned to PAC will then want to go and disrupt all the schools, which sometimes it's unnecessary, because the curriculum time lost will come negative for us. I mean, schools here in this area will be performing bad because of the curriculum time that is lost. So anything that happens, if there's a service delivery protest in the area, then schools are disrupted. So anything that happens in this area of Tsakani, Batema area, it's quite unfortunate that you will then disrupt schooling. But we want to discourage that from happening. We had so many meetings with this student organization to say, don't do it, let's work together and raise all issues that you want to raise, unlike wanting to disrupt.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for time. Thank you very much. That is the Provincial Gauteng Education Department spokesperson, Steve Mabona, just giving us an overview of the myriad of challenges that have led to this unfortunate death of the learner. And we will wait now for the MEC, Matome Chiloane, who's expected to come before the bottom of the hour. That is at 1:30 or so. He will go inside and address the learners and also be briefed by the school governing body and the teachers here about what is happening and what support they need. We'll continue to give you those updates as and when it happens. It's back to you in the studio.
Right, Tumaole live to us there from just outside Geluksdal Secondary School in Brakpan. Thanks very much indeed.